Morning, guys. We're going to take a look at our industry's future. And two things I wanted to make sure you noted was that below there's a link to a 1969 video that was created and kind of presents the what people thought the internet and modern life was going to be like in 1969. Less than 2 minutes long. Check it out. When you look at it, look at all the equipment and think, wow, I do all of that with something I now put in my pocket. So we've come a long way, but what's most important is that if you think about what they're doing in the video is exactly what we are doing today. Maybe a little bit fancier, easier, but it's the same single idea. We're living that dream. So that's kind of neat. As we look to the future, one of the things we have to do is understand the past. So take a look at this, take a look at that video, get an idea of what people thought it was going to be like, and then you think about what your life is like today. Very interesting. So social media marketing, where did it get its beginnings? Because we're going to look at its beginnings and we'll know how it's going to influence the future. Back in 1969, social media marketing already was in place, and that was merely the use of the bulletin boards back in the old days. Didn't really have websites up, but there were bulletin boards that you could post information and read information, and that even back then that was a way to influence others socially. Most insiders will say that in around 2009 there was a threshold for the mindset of the digital culture. If you're old like me, you know, you don't think that way, but really it impacted the younger generation differently than us. You know, they grew up with that technology. We're growing into that technology, or you know, our generation has developed the technology and we've evolved with the technology, and they actually grew up with it and this being a matter of their ordinary daily business, unlike some of us. And there also, I'm going to give you a link for the Social Media Today graphic. It's a history about internet marketing, and it's kind of a long graphic, but if you go all the way through it, you'll see some significant events, and you need to look at the numbers because the numbers are going to give you a trend that will project the future. So take a look at the graphic, go all the way through it from the very beginning. Hey, back in the days with print and telegraph and 1950s black and white up until today, and you'll see a trend, and understanding what the trend is will help guide you for how you're going to use internet marketing in the future. For most of us, really, things started changing in 2011, and that was the advent of the rollout of the Google Panda, and that single thing really changed the way that websites looked at themselves, how they were going to rank themselves in the future. And what is significant is that Panda really wants to see solid content on your website. And you don't get that solid content by just putting up a website and then never fooling around with it anymore. It is looking for solid industry leaders, and so the only way you can do that is by constantly putting up information, new information. And what you're also doing at the same time, unbeknownst, is you're connecting with your audience. And so that's a big deal. The SEO is actually helping to drive the social media. Also in 2011, we see that there was a significant boom in SEO and SM social media jobs. And some insiders say that also in 2011, social media became social business. And maybe that's the way that the internet marketers really need to think about it, is not so much social media, but social business. How am I going to do business in a social way? And that's here and now today in the present world. Um, so what are the trends in the future? Well, we understand that that mobile devices are king. Almost everyone has a smartphone. With the advent of the smartphone, that means that you have instant access to information right then and there as you're driving along. Where do I want to eat? Oh, I look it up. You know, my results are going to be driven by my location. So that is key for marketers. Getting your location out there, getting relevant information out there. Hey, here's my specials today. And so these are things that that are going to drive the kind of the consumer shopping mode in the future, if you will. And Google knows who you are, collects all that information. I'm sure some of you heard of Access. That's a company in Arkansas, I believe, that basically it categorizes and codifies every single purchase that you make. Since it knows what you want, it knows what you might want in the future. And that is what the future is going to be. Database driven marketing analysis. You're going to be buying that information probably from a company like Axis, and then figure out how you're going to use that micro data into your particular business. I think that in the future we could probably still have our websites, put our information out there, make us subject matter experts. That's going to help. But I think to drive and to get more inbound leads, you're going to have to use a service like that to help you get more targeted possible leads. The better leads you have, the better conversions you're going to have. So I think that's one of the things you're going to see in the future. Well, guys, I look forward to hearing what the rest of you guys have to say, and hope you have a great week.